What is going on, you guys? This is going to be a contest response video, and that is something I hardly ever do. My buddy Mike, baseball collector, part of the BenchClear gurus, they've reached 4,000 subscribers really fast, and he decided to do a contest, and I believe he's giving away $100 via PayPal, or maybe he'll send it to you in the mail, or I don't know. Maybe he'll give you $100 worth of junk wax. I don't know. But it's for $100. And I believe it is talk about some of your friends that you've met through YouTube or something along those lines. I don't listen to Baseball Collector very much. We're like best friends, but I don't listen to him very much. You know what I mean? So I'm going to kind of free flow this contest. I know part of the rules is you need to be subscribed to BenchClear and then put the link into that video, which I will put the link into that video, but I'm not subscribing to BenchClear, dog. That's kind of an inside joke. So we will go ahead and get started. So the first guy, this list is going to sound just like his. So if you've seen his list, then you can go ahead and stop this, because you've already heard of all these guys. But I'm going to start with Andy. She blinded me with refractors. Andy is so damn nice. Like, he's not sarcastic. He's not smug. He's just like the nicest dude you could ever meet. He doesn't throw shade on people. God, I can't say it enough. Like, he's like the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. Down to earth. Just so go with the flow. I just have a feeling like if you hung out with Andy at the National and you were like, Andy, what do you want to do? Well, I don't know. What do you want to do? And those people in this day and age are very hard to find. When everyone has an agenda, everyone's looking out for themselves. It's very hard to find friends like Andy. You could talk to him for hours and hours and hours. So that's Andy. Next is JT Triple Crown 24. He is the youngest 70-year-old you'll ever meet in your life. Super mature beyond his years, and I feel like that's kind of injustice to him, because that's what everyone says, but you're just not used to meeting 22, 23-year-olds with the mindset that he has. I have a feeling personally like I probably could have gotten a lot further in life than I have if I had his mindset at that age. Great business mind. I think that is something that maybe a lot of you don't know. I probably talked to JT in one form or another. Oh, without exaggerating, probably no less than 10 hours a week. And he has a very sharp business mind. I have a degree in business, so I love talking business, money, and all that kind of stuff. And I plan on potentially selling sports cards after I retire from the Navy for 3 years. It's a goal, or it's a dream that I've had ever since I was a little kid. I always wanted to own a brick and mortar. And I don't have the brick and mortar dream anymore, but I would love to make a living selling sports cards. And JT's doing it. And not only is he doing it, but he's excelling in it. So it's very cool to talk to him throughout the week about, hey, I had this idea, and what do you think about this? And why did you do that? I don't understand this. And when it comes to our business discussion, there's nothing off the table. He lets me ask him very personal questions about business, and I respect him so much for answering those and allowing me to ask him those questions. And then last, I guess this might be an inside joke, but he's not afraid to take a knee for what's right. A lot of you guys are like, what the hell does that mean? He's probably smiling right now. He knows what that means. He ain't afraid to take a knee for what's right. Next, the Oracle, the cardboard Oracle, as I call him, and a lot of you guys call him, Eric. Which, first off, like, how the fuck, excuse me, how do you get that nickname, dude? Like, why can't I get a freaking badass nickname like that? The cardboard Oracle. You get introduced as that as a card show, or at a card show, like, people are like, yep, that dude's a badass. That's Eric, man. And he said this in one of his videos here recently. Like, he and I are about as opposite as it gets, man. Like, he was raised different than me, raised in a different part of the country than me. We have different hobbies. We collect very, very different. But yet, just like JT, I talk to him no less than 10 hours a week. And the dude is just an open book. Very, very caring. Like, a lot of you might be like, oh, that's bullshit. Like, no one thinks that way. No one acts like that. Like, you see him on Twitter and you see him, how he's on his YouTube videos, hello, friends. I'm sure there's a lot of you that it's like, oh, that's a facade. That's bullshit. No, that's Eric, man. Like, you don't know until you know, but that's him. Very caring, very inspirational. He had a quote I think he came up with that I seen 4 or 5 months ago on YouTube, or excuse me, on Twitter, and he has said it multiple times on video and on his Twitter account, and it's okay not to be okay. And like, how fitting is that at a time right now with COVID ramping back up? A lot of people think things are going to get shut back down again, which honestly, in my opinion, they probably are. And he comes up with that, like, it's okay to not be okay. I think about that a lot, here being my wife and I have 4 kids, and things are not always okay around here. And I think about Eric's quote a lot. I really do. And then another I wrote down kind of bullet points because I felt it would be unjust if I just did this off the top of my head, because my memory is very bad. Private Eric is way, way better than public Eric. And if some of you feel like you know him through YouTube videos or Twitter or blowout forums, and I'm sure you know him very well from those, because he wears his feelings, just out and about. He doesn't hide a lot of things. But Private Eric is so much more awesome than Public Eric, and Public Eric kicks ass. And then the last thing I wrote down is I love seeing / hearing him laugh till he can't breathe. We have a kind of a group StreamYard, a bunch of different YouTubers, about 5 or 6 of us, and we get on multiple times a week for hours and hours. Like, sometimes we get on at 8 and we don't get off till 3 in the morning. No joke. And that's not like a once or twice thing. Like, it's happened a lot. And every now and then someone will say something that's so damn funny, and Eric, like, we gotta be like, Eric, are you all right? Because he's laughing so freaking hard. Like, it just makes me smile so much, seeing him like that. I think it's so funny. The last 2, man, the Eminem boys. How 2 of my best friends are named Mike is very, very surprising and beyond me. But then if you're in this community like I am, you know that about every other person in the community is named Mike. That's a prerequisite. We can't let in other people without the Mike ratio being at a 50-50. So Canadian Cards, I think he and I got really, really close about 5 months ago, kind of talking about wrestling, and it's just grown like the big snowball effect so fast, way beyond just talking about wrestling. We talk about life and talk about our family. He talks to me about his wife and his kids and his situation up in Canada, and I talk to him about my wife and kids, and it's just become such an awesome friendship. Teaches me about hockey and all these damn hockey names I don't know how to freaking pronounce, and vintage. And I will say another thing about Mike is he has a very, very sneaky good collection. You see his videos and you're like, oh, he has a nice collection. No, he has a fucking phenomenal question. He has a phenomenal collection. There we go. Excuse me. Just a great dude. Like, I just feel like the dude would literally do anything short of killing somebody for me. Such a great person. And then last but not least, depending on how our last phone call is or how it went, I would say my best friend And if our last phone call was shitty, then he's in the top 10 best friends of mine. Mike, baseball collector. There is literally nothing off limits when I talk to Mike. And I'm not going to give examples, but we have talked about just about everything under the frickin' sun. I think Mike gets misunderstood a lot by people. I've heard people call him an elitist or self-righteous. But he's not always taken how he means it. And he's not that guy. He's not that guy that people sometimes think he is. He is such a generous dude. So freaking nice. So caring. He'll be the first one to pray for you. He'll be the first one to call you to see how you're doing. And such a great guy. But that doesn't mean like after saying all that, like he's so generous and so nice, like he'll be the first guy to nickel and dime you over a baseball card. Like you're selling a card for $5, he's going to say, will you take $1? I'll tell you a story and then I'll wrap this video up. And I don't know the exact card. I wish I did. But about 5 or 6 months ago, Mike called me and said, hey man, I need you to put a best offer on this card. I'm like, okay, like, sure. Like, I don't question Mike. I don't need to know the details or anything like that. But I'm like, okay, cool. So he sent me the link to the card. And I'm going to say, just to keep this story going, it's like a 1988 Topps PSA 7 freaking Alan Trammell. You know, and it's a buy it now for $19.99. And he's like, can you put a best offer of $8 in? And I'm like, dude, this shit's $20, man. Like, why not just buy the damn card? And he's like, well, just put in this offer. Okay, well, why don't you put in the offer? He's like, because I ran out of freaking offers. He goes, I started at $5. So he's so damn frugal with his hobby money. It absolutely cracks me up because he's definitely not frugal with other things. So that's my list. Those 5 guys absolutely mean the world to me. If you let the YouTube community in, if you let it in you, as cheesy as that sounds, it'll be there, man. I've met so many people that, you know, say they've watched my videos for years and thank you for making content and I love this and love that. And I mean, you just have to just let yourself be absorbed by it as much as that may or may not make sense. I've said this multiple times on my channel. My best friends, with an S at the end, are all YouTubers. Being in the military, we move around every 3 years. It's hard to get friends in any one location because we're always moving. And a lot of that is I don't allow myself to get friends because I don't want to get attached to somebody and then we move. So all of my great friends are YouTubers. And if I had to guess, I would say 50 to 60% of my contact list on my phone is YouTubers. So we really, really have an awesome thing here, guys. And even the people that quit making videos, you know, I make videos a lot less than I used to. You know, once you let them in and all that, you're just constantly writing each other back and forth. There's a couple dudes that, haven't made a video in 5 or 6 years that I still talk to maybe once or twice a week. So, I'll go ahead and end it and ramble before I just start saying stupid things. But that's that. Great contest idea, Mike. I think in a day and age right now that we're living in, where everything is scary, everything is unknown, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. This is a very, very cool contest idea to talk good about others in the community. So, till next time, adios, be safe, bye-bye. Doodles.